All right, we don't need all that. We don't need all that. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. If you did not see by the title, this is a test broadcast, so there's nothing emergent happening right now. I just wanted to make sure we tested everything before we had a situation like what happened last week occur. So, we are live on all three platforms. I have learned to not say the names of all three platforms, but we are live on all three platforms. So if you are in the chat, let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, if it sounds okay, if it looks okay. The sound may sound a little wonky. I've been messing with the microphone a little bit today. I learned that I need to get a new mix amp, so I have that coming in the mail over the next, I think it'll be here later this month. So the mic audio will be fixed eventually. So again, it might sound okay for now, but I have high expectations. So I have a new mix amp and stuff coming in the mail. Try to be careful what I say, but it looks like we are live on all three platforms. I have comments from all three platforms so far. YouTube says they can't see, or one guy said he can't see me on YouTube. Oh God, I just said the name of the other platform. Oh my goodness, I have to be so careful. One of these platforms has very weird rules. Can everyone see me and hear me? Let me know if you have any issues. Thank you, Wendy. Again, this is a test broadcast. This is nothing there's nothing emergent happening right now. So again, just want to make that very clear. There's nothing emergent happening right now. I am testing everything out in case there is severe warnings tonight or tomorrow night. I want to make sure everything works correctly here. Okay, I got you, Jen. I got you. So I can call it YT, TT, and book. Okay. Everywhere. Sweet. Okay, I think I finally got. Remember, if you guys were in here for that last storm event we had, what was it? A couple days after Christmas or a couple days before Christmas? I don't know. All my timelines are running together. But we had a lot of issues with the TT broadcast. I'm wanting to call it now. So, someone said, will Saturday be a flood threat? No. I don't know where you got that from. But no. So I'm not really going over a whole lot of stuff here. I mean, I can show you the model data real quickly. I just wanted to do a test broadcast to make sure. Have I been banned on there yet? Anissa, thank you very much. Oh yes, Jim Caldwell and I met last night with, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, but a new platform that's going to allow us to be a lot faster with our forecasting. Yeah, also the internet has this very big misconception that Jim Caldwell and I don't like each other. Like, we're quickly becoming really good friends. So no, we may be collaborating on something. Again, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, contracts and stuff. I know we made it real big. We made it real big. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but oh, okay, SD, thank you. But yeah, so there's some really cool stuff happening. That's the picture I posted from last night. Christy, thank you very much. Okay, just checking in here, make sure we're still good to go. Awesome. All right. Here, I know there's some of you that want to just see what's happening. I'll show you real quickly. Again, I'm not going into a whole lot on this broadcast because this is just a simple test broadcast. I'm not going to go into the full-fledged thing here, but I do want to make sure everything kind of works still as well. Here's the live radar. Of course, a lot of the stuff is happening out to our west right now. Nothing really happening in the state. Once again, there's nothing. Tomorrow, by the way, I know we mentioned yesterday that Friday night looked pretty gnarly for us, and I think we will see storms. But as far as the severe threat for Friday, it seems to really be going down over the last 3 to 4 model runs, like really far down. Which I can't explain to you how lucky we are for that, because guys, this is a robust amount of wind energy, I should say, and a really strong storm system. Like, I'm not kidding. If we had any sort of storm fuel to work with tonight and tomorrow night would likely be historic outbreaks. When it comes to severe weather in the wintertime in the Ohio Valley, the Missouri Valley, and in the Deep South. I'm not exaggerating. Luckily, we are once again lacking storm fuel for tomorrow. And for tonight. Which means that yes, it will storm, but we avoid anything crazy, in my opinion. Now, I will tell you that where's it at here? Let me get it pulled up. That the SPC has moved the tornado risk for tomorrow more into Kentucky. I'm a little confused by it, to be honest with you. Only because I know yesterday we made a post saying that yes, it did look like there was a tornado chance, and yes, you can get some brief spin ups to occur in situations like this, but guys, it looks really marginal at best on the data. No one's missing anything, by the way. This is just a test broadcast, so we're just chit chatting right now. I just want to make sure everything works and continues to work. Matter of fact, let me check in and make sure we're still. Yes, we're still okay. All right. So again, anyone that's tuning in here, this is more of a test broadcast. This is not. There's nothing emergent happening. So I'm just kind of glancing over the latest information for you guys, since you guys are in here and hanging out with us. But nonetheless, the tornado threat has moved a little bit more into Kentucky per the SPC's maps. If you don't know what the SPC is, that's the Storm Prediction Center. Now again, I'm a little befuzzled by it because, guys, everything I'm seeing, it looks more like just some rain and winds to me. So here is tonight. Let's go night by night. Let's take it one at a time here, night by night here. Here is tonight. Because I do think there's a low end severe risk out in Western Kentucky. If you missed that post from earlier, I'm not sure how much of this is going to be able to be seen on our screens, but this is the map we made earlier, where it highlights this red area, this western portion of the Kentucky, the Murray, Mayfield, basically the same areas that always get hit by severe weather. It's highlighted tonight again for the potential for some damaging winds and maybe a spin up or two, but it's going to be really, really close. Let me show you why. Okay, here is the timestamp available for storms. Won't start until really late tonight, 11 p.m., maybe midnight, maybe even 1 a.m. But look how close that is. So if you look into Cape Girardeau, Missouri there, that is actually kind of a weaker supercell. But if that goes 20 miles to the east, well, now it's in Kentucky. So it's really, 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 really close. Advance this forward about midnight. You'll see why it's kind of like been a thorn in my side. These storms on all the model data stays west of Kentucky. That's important because once we get deeper to the night, like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 a.m., the storms fade away, but they do move into Kentucky. So they get weaker, but they move more into Kentucky. So it's kind of an interesting setup there. So that's why we added the small risk for Western Kentucky to maybe see a severe warning or two, but no real outbreak expected, no real anything too crazy in my opinion. And then Friday morning, we have some nice rain showers ongoing in the central and eastern portion of the state. This is valid for Friday around 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning. No severe weather expected with that at all, in my eyes. Now, going back to an older run here of the HRRR model, I'll advance this forward. We do potentially clear out on Friday, which allows for some warm and unstable air to move in. But I say some because it's not a whole lot. So that's why we're not expecting. And at first, I thought there may be the potential for quite the severe night for Friday. But now I don't think that as much because the path of the low pressure doesn't really favor it as much. And number two, the ingredients that are coming in for Friday evening just don't look that impressive. They did at one point look very impressive, but they just don't look that impressive at this point. But advance this forward to Friday evening, you'll see some more storms on the western side start to push their way up into Kentucky and to Tennessee. But if you look at it, guys, it's not. Look at that. That's nothing. It's rain, 30 to 40 mile per hour winds. And really, it's only for the southern half of Kentucky. It doesn't even make it to the northern half of the state or toward Ohio or Indiana or anything like that. It just makes it to the southern half of Kentucky, and then it's out. So, by the way, this stuff on the backside might be snow. Let me look. Got a really strong cold front coming in with this, so this wouldn't surprise me if this is a little bit of snow trying to mix in on the sounding here. Really close, but no, not snow. So, another good way to measure the overall severity of an event. And now this is not the one all like end all be all tool to measure right here, but this is just a cool little thing to glance at here. This is called updraft helicity. Basically, this is going to show us swaths or tracks of storms that may be trying to rotate here. And you'll see over the course of those two storms, there's really nothing in Kentucky. Now, if I zoom out to a regional view here, I kind of show you the same thing, just kind of give you some context here. There are some updraft helicity swaths. It's probably cut off of your screen, but down there into Louisiana, Arkansas, maybe Mississippi. And then there's some updraft helicity swaths into Missouri, Illinois. But if you look into Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, even into Tennessee, really, that's not much there, guys. So for everyone that may be asking, I think we may see a few severe warnings between Thursday night and Friday night. Mainly for damaging winds. I wouldn't be shocked to see a brief spin up tornado warning, but I also wouldn't be shocked if we don't see that at all either. I hope that makes sense. Here's some of the AI data. I'll show you this as well. This is from StormNet AI here. This is basically going to try and pick up. There's a lot more to this, but basically tries to show us where the tornado and wind odds are. As far as tonight, you'll see it tries to show like a 0.5% of a chance in Western Kentucky. So again, it's a very, 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 very low end. So again, just to keep that in mind. As far as tomorrow night, basically being Friday evening, it shows really no odds. So this is valid right here. This is valid right here for like Friday at like 11 p.m. There's nothing here. Nothing. Even in the higher tornado zones, it only shows like a 1% chance, if that. So it really doesn't show a whole lot of anything. And then it tries to show something for Saturday morning, but I think that's just the model getting confused there. Now let's go to the wind threat here. This is again from StormNet AI showing the potential for damaging winds. Remember, damaging winds, according to severe metrics, is anything greater than or equal to 58 miles per hour. So advancing this for Thursday evening, it does try and show about a 10 to 15% chance of damaging winds on that western corner of the state for tonight, going into early hours on Friday morning. Then it shows really nothing for Friday evening, nothing. So again, I think if anything, these two systems for tonight and tomorrow have both downtrended quite a bit. One for tonight, this is going to be mainly dominant in Missouri and Illinois, and then it's going to stall out, and then it'll move into Kentucky. But by the time it does move into Kentucky, it will be in a much weaker fashion. For Friday evening, we'll see this same storm line kind of swing storms back up into Kentucky, but it will likely only be for the southern half of the state, and the timing just doesn't match up with where the energies are. It's almost like we have the energy at place. Let me show you this as well. This, because I think this kind of explains it too. This is called the 850 millibar. This is basically about a mile above our heads. This is where a lot of the storm fuel, wind fuel, stuff like that kind of lives. Just a very basic layman terms there. Now, as far as tonight, that is impressive. If you're going on a flight tonight, you don't, or tomorrow morning, you're going to be in for a lot of turbulence because that is impressive amount of wind. The problem is the storms don't get tall enough or don't get rude enough to really tap into those winds and bring them down to the surface. So that's the problem for thinking there may be severe weather, is the storms aren't there for it. As far as tomorrow night's storm system, here's the time frame that it comes in, and you'll see there's almost no wind energy left in the state at that point from the 8th bar. So again, it's almost like the storms are coming in whenever the energy is either in front of or behind the actual storms. And we call that displaced. That's when the storms are displaced from the better storm fuel, the better wind energy, and the better lift. That is why the storm threat, in my opinion, or the severe threat, in my opinion, has really downtrended. We still will likely see thunder showers, showers, and some brief pockets of some damaging winds. But that's nothing that we can handle. We've already handled that. So, but again, that's my opinion on why these storms have kind of downtrended over the last couple of model runs for Thursday night, which is tonight, and Friday night, because the best energy is displaced from the actual storms, if that makes sense. So, again, I'm not going to go into a whole massive big spiel on this because this is just a little test broadcast. It seems everything is working correctly, which is good. By the way, for everyone asking if we could check other states and locations, we only cover Kentucky, my friends. Sometimes I will briefly mention other states. but I only cover Kentucky. Thank you to all the folks that are gifting as well. Hope that's allowed to be said. I apparently not supposed to mention names or what people sent, but thank you again for everyone gifting. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead again. I just want to kind of show you just for fun since we're having some fun here. Here is the kind of the medium range outlook when it comes to what's happening here. So what's happening on this weekend is we have this warm surge of air. Then these two storm lines are part of a cold front. That cold front comes kind of smacking in, especially by Sunday morning. You'll see the temperatures are much different Sunday. Highs only in the low 30s versus what it is today with highs in the mid 60s. Yes, we have another strong cold front coming through. Then next week, it just kind of gets colder and colder. We'll see some bounce backs into the 40s and 50s like you're seeing now by about Wednesday. But then around the 16th to 17th is when we finally have, most likely anyway, it can change because it's 10 days away, likely have our first real kind of flashback or flash into winter since early December. Temperatures get really brutal, pretty cold there. Then we'll have several shots of precipitation in the middle of all of these cold temperatures. What that leads to me to believe is that we'll likely see a bigger snow event somewhere in the Ohio Valley to the Appalachians to the East Coast. Someone's getting a big snowstorm. It's just a matter of where. Because when you see the temperatures constantly battling back and forth like that, one, that tells me the Gulf is still awake. It's still trying to push in warm and moist air. And number two, it also obviously tells me that cold air is trying to come in. And 9 times out of 10, somewhere in between Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, somewhere in these states that you see on your screen here, someone gets a bigger snowstorm out of that. Also, oppositely, someone usually ends up with a bunch of freezing rain. So someone, wherever that falls, it's 10 days from now. So it's hard to tell exactly where that's going to fall and where everything kind of lines out. But someone somewhere is going to see a bigger winter storm. You'll see this on the GFS model here, where it's now trying to show this, but it doesn't have the moisture branches connecting. If I showed you the last run, you'd be really excited about it. But see several hours of some snow there around the 17th for Kentucky, and then advances forward, it kind of clears it out. And then we may see some more. Yeah, there it is right there. I just told you, snow and then freezing rain. There it is right there on the 22nd. We'll see how it all plays out. It's 10 to 15 days from now, so nothing is going to be remotely accurate. But it is worth mentioning that both of the long range models do see something similar. So here's the European model, and here it is for around the 15th, 16th, and 17th. You'll see it's a little bit different, but it does have lighter snows. And then here is the 17th, where it does have some snow, just not in the same place. And then here's the 18th, 19th, where it does have some snow once again. And then here's the 21st or 22nd, where it's now starting to show a freezing rain to sleet, the snow event. So again, they look a little bit different. But the important thing is for you snow lovers, that both of the long range models are seeing some sort of event. The details are a little bit skewed either way, but they're both trying to see some big event occurring. Here are the snowfall totals just to have some fun from the European model, trying to show 2 to 6 inches throughout the state. Here is the GFS model trying to show whenever it loads, probably similar amounts. 2 to 6 inches throughout the state. So again, it's not going to be all that accurate right now. So don't say that. If you're in Western Kentucky saying, oh my God, we're going to miss it again, don't do that yet because it's 10 days away. This is going to change 1,500 times before we get there. But the important thing is for you snow lovers that it is trying to show something. Take that for what it is. Take that for what it is. So it's just kind of an interesting. I got banned on TikTok again for what? I didn't even say anything. I'm about to just like scrap the whole TikTok thing. That's why I wanted to do this live broadcast. I don't understand why I keep getting suspended from TikTok. I didn't even say anything wrong. I'm really close to just kind of scrapping the whole TikTok idea. I know a lot of people want to watch us on there, and we keep getting asked for it. But I'm getting tired of it. Yeah, Hunter. But the good news is I don't expect this to be a really big severe event either tonight or tomorrow night for anybody in Kentucky. Yeah, I really don't want to deal with the ice or sleet. Yeah, I don't know why we keep getting banned on TikTok. I'm telling you, I'm about to be done with it because it's getting really old. But people have been asking for us to stream on there. So I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm trying to be careful what we're saying. I really feel like I didn't. Really feel like I didn't say anything bad right there, though. I don't know. I don't know. It's really getting on my nerves, though. All right. Anyway, this was just a test broadcast, so I'm not going to stay on here too long. We'll have updates out for you through post on Twitter and Facebook here after a while, so make sure you go check those out. If you don't follow us on there, make sure you follow us on there. But yeah, if we have to come back on tonight, everything is ready to go. I got everything working good here. Thank you to our sponsors as well. Appreciate them. I will see you guys throughout this